So last week, Pam Bondi, Trump's Attorney General, was hyping up the release of the Epstein files. You're finally gonna know everything, most notably the names of those who were closely associated with Epstein and his crimes. And I, for one, would love to know that information. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that anyone, regardless of their wealth and social status, should have the book thrown at them if they can be linked in any way to Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking of minors. And there are almost certainly bombshells in those files, something to the magnitude of Mr. Rogers taking regular trips to Epstein's Island or something like that, which, oh god, I hope not. But, you know, people who you wouldn't believe in a million years would have associated with Epstein, having associated with Epstein. And the public deserves to know that information. You don't deserve dignity if you're involved in such horrendous crimes. But I wasn't holding my breath because how many other times have we been here where we were supposedly on the cusp of knowing everything, quote unquote, only for it to be a nothing burger in the end, and this instance is no exception. We got pilot logs that were already made available from Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. We also got Epstein's black book, his list of contacts basically, which was already made public. And look, the reality is these files likely contain hundreds, if not thousands, of documents related to Epstein, and these documents likely contain the names of and personal information of witnesses, victims, and other information the public is not privy to. How in the fuck could one comb through all of that evidence and adequately redact all sensitive information in the span of like, what, only a week this was given to release? It is an insane tall order to say the least, and that one consideration alone was enough to make me believe that this was all performative. What sealed the deal for me was that stupid photo op with shitty right-wing influencers like Kaya Rychik, aka Libs of TikTok, and Jack Posobiec, aka End Wokeness, holding up binders labeled the Epstein files, and it's like, if these Epstein files containing mind-blowing information like what we were promised were ready to be released, why do we need this fucking photo op with these shitheads holding up binders that may or may not include files related to Epstein within them? These are files pertaining to a man who was quite possibly the most prolific child sex trafficker in, well, history, I'd imagine. Epstein had countless financial and political ties. He knew many celebrities as well. Why use a case this disgusting and high profile as an opportunity to milk for attention and headlines? Because they don't actually fucking care about releasing these files. Case in point, the GOP House Judiciary on Twitter saying, "We have released the Epstein files," and providing a link, and that link instead leads to "Never Gonna Give You Up." Yes, the House committee actually rickrolled its citizens. Again, concerning a case that involves child sex trafficking. Really goes to show how much these people actually care about protecting children. When it comes to trans people wishing to use the bathroom that correlates to their gender identity, these people go nuclear and slander trans people as child groomers. But when it comes to releasing files pertaining to the most high-profile child sex trafficker, tee-hee, let's rickroll our citizens. What a fucking disgrace, whittling something like this down into nothing more than a stupid joke. Imagine being a victim of child sex trafficking and seeing how little regard your government has for you, and the open contempt they have for you, if they're willing to make a cheap joke out of something so horrendous. Obviously no one found this funny, and many people are just as disgusted as I am, but here's another fact. They know and they don't care. Like I said before, the ties Jeffrey Epstein had to other rich and powerful people was immense. Do you really think said rich and powerful people want the public to know that they were involved in child sex trafficking and were likely also engaging in horrific acts with minors? These files also likely implicate a lot of Congress as well, and also one former US President Bill Clinton, and also our sitting President Donald Trump, and who the fuck knows who else these files implicate. It's always funny hearing Trumpers say shit like Trump is going to release the Epstein files in full and blow the lid wide open on the Democrats. When Trump was an Epstein associate himself, there are many pictures and videos of them together. There is a video from, I believe, 2000 or 2001 where Trump says, "Oh yeah, I know Jeffrey Epstein, he likes them young, real young." Your guy at the very least knew of Jeffrey Epstein's horrendous crimes and still maintained a relationship relationship with him. Party affiliation does not matter. It's the same big, crooked club comprising of sick, twisted people who are very wealthy and very powerful, and these very wealthy and powerful people, who these files likely implicate, either have Congress in their pockets or are part of Congress, so there is a concerted effort between these people to not have these full, unredacted files released. That's why, barring any enormous leak, and I don't even know if such a thing is possible with something of this magnitude, I don't think we're ever going to see the full Epstein files. It implicates way too many rich and powerful people, many of those including people within our government. Think of all of the unimaginable dirt Epstein himself had on these people and could have spilled. And look how that ended up. Anyone with even the slightest amount of common sense knows he wasn't just feeling sad on that one day in August, coincidentally a month after he was arrested. And I know Pam Bondi touts, "This is only phase 1, more is coming." You squandered any goodwill and trust you had with the public. And I guarantee you the next phase or phases are going to be nothing burgers, exactly like how this phase was. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.